So I am on my way to South Carolina for work, and Google told me that there was this restaurant that had a Chinese buffet. Now, if you've known me for a while or you've watched my channel for a while, then you know that I love Chinese buffets. I love the luxury of being able to go in and pick certain things that I want, and I love that. And I can control how much food I get and what the price is. So this plate cost me $7. I made it myself. I have a little bit of everything on here. So I've got lo mein, green beans, fried banana. I thought it was a plantain, but it's a banana. A dumpling, sesame chicken, and then they had something that it wasn't regular like white rice or fried rice. It was called hibachi fried rice. So I'm excited to try that. And of course, I put some of the sesame juice on the rice. So I'm doing really well. It's kind of getting hot out here this afternoon. But other than that, I was going to use this spoon, but I think I might as well just use this fork now. For those that do not know, hello, I'm Brooke and I live out of my car full time. I've been struggling to find full-term, stable employment for, I don't know, over 6 months now. Sesame chicken. It's worth the $7. Wow. So the hibachi fried rice has these little spring onions, and I can see egg and peppers in it. So it tastes like hibachi, like when they cook in front of you, and it's a little bit softer than just plain rice or chicken fried rice or shrimp fried rice. I want to try this banana though. I thought it was a plantain, which I love. I love fried plantains. If you've ever had Jamaican food, they normally just throw some on your plate when you get a plate of like jerk chicken or whatever. Well, let's try this banana though. I like the crispy edges. It's a little tart, which is weird. Maybe they use like non-ripe bananas. So I have a list that I came up with that I've been working on for a couple of weeks. 10 things that have changed since I started dancing. And 10 reasons why the clubs are failing. Let's see what my fortune cookie said, and then we're going to talk about the list of 10 things that have changed and why clubs are going out of business. It says, later today, your dreams will take flight. I hope so. It'd be nice to... sorry. It'd be nice to get this job at the club. I'm going to be auditioning tonight at a club in South Carolina. I've been there before. I know the type of women that they employ. I know the type of managers that they have. Well, unless something's changed in the past year and a half since I've been there, which is common. I mean, strip club managers turnover just like strippers. Like the turnover is ridiculous. The lo mein's good. I love a buffet. Just be able to walk in there. Y'all, this one was fancy too. They had like mussels with cheese and stuff on them. I wanted to try one, but I ain't never had a mussel. I'm scared that I'll try it and have an allergic reaction, be stuck out in the middle of bumfuck, boy, you got a pretty mouth, have an allergic reaction. Could you imagine? I don't know what I would do. The green beans are good too. Now, I'm kind of funny about meats. Ultra processed meat, I don't fuck with it. I can't eat fast food. So I'm kind of skeptical about this dumpling, but I'm going to try it anyways. No, thank you. No, thank you. I had to clean my palate. That rice is so good. And it looks like it has carrots and like red peppers in it or something. You can see the egg. I've never had rice like this before. I mean, I'm sure I've had it in hibachi, but this is weird. Like they put some kind of seasoning on it. It's good. Well, that was a good lunch. The 5 bites that I take. That's what I do. I'll be eating on this all day. Living out of your car. Oh my God. Y'all. I just dumped my whole bag back in the back seat. My whole bag just dumped all the way down on the floor. So I had to go do laundry this morning. So my bed is a freaking mess. I haven't put my laundry up yet. I need to go put all this laundry up. I normally don't like to do it. Like, I like to find somewhere kind of private because I don't like to have my doors open and be exposed like that. And, you know, the laundromat that I just went to. First of all, I went to one laundromat. They wanted $8 a wash. So it would have cost me $16 to wash everything that I had to wash because I had 2 bags. That's crazy. That's highway robbery, first of all. Second of all, they had this weird-ass system where you have to get a card, pay $5 for a card. If you forget to return the card, then you're screwed out of $5. It's a whole thing that I'm seeing when it comes to self-service laundromats. And what it is that I'm sure a lot of people do forget to turn in their card. So you go up to the machine, and instead of sticking dollars in it and coins, you stick your credit card or your debit card. And then it spits a card out at you, and that's the card that you use to wash your laundry. When you're done washing your laundry and using the temporary debit card that they assign you, you return it. If you don't return it, then you don't get your money back. You have to pay for the damn card to start with. It's a money scheme. It's a money racket. I like laundromats where I can go in and use the coins that I have laying around to damn wash laundry if I need to. Oh, but I'm out there. And I had multiple people asking me for money. And I looked one dude right in the face and I said, bro, I'm homeless myself. Like, I literally just lost my job. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Like, you know, and it pisses me off because I wonder how much money they make going from person to person and being a bum like that. You know, them people, them panhandlers that be standing on the side of the road at like Walmart and stuff asking for money. You know they make a damn killing. It's wrong, but they make a killing. I don't hand money out like that. I can't be handing money out like that. I ain't got money to hand out like that. I need water. Water. It's so hot already. I don't know how hot, but it's supposed to get up to 90. So let's see here. So I wanted to talk about, all right, so first of all, if you're new here, I'm Brooke. I live out of my car full time. It's been really hard for me to find full-time employment that's non-toxic. I decided that since I had no other options, I was going to go back to dancing because I danced full-time for 15 years. I was a stripper and top in the state, actually. I was like really good. So anyways, I decided that I was going to go back and try to dance to make some money because I have bills. So I get in there. And I do really well, like the 3 days that I worked, things were good. And I was just in the back of my mind, I was just praying that it was going to last, you know. And I think that there's several videos that I did while I was working at this job. And I even stated several times that I just felt like it was going to be bad, that the girls were going to end up being grimy. And that's exactly what happened. They stole money from me. So I made like $425 in dance money, and at the end of your shift, you go to your manager and you say, hey, I'm leaving, can I have my dance money? They slide you a receipt that has all of the dances that you did on it, and then they pay you. Well, when this happened on Friday, the money that was given to me with the receipt touched 2 different hands. So I don't know who stole the $100, but when I got out to my truck and counted my money, it was off by $100. And in that moment, I debated I knew that going in there and confronting them that I might lose my job. But at the same time, if I wouldn't have, they would have been continuing to do that to me. And I could already tell that they were scheming on customers. Some of the male customers that were coming in to buy dances from me, these people were scheming on, trying to up the price on certain dances and trying to put it into the computer system at a cheaper price so that they could pocket some of the money. This is grimy behavior, and you see it so much in the industry nowadays. But I confronted them, and they gave me the $100, and the girl gaslit me saying, oh, well, that's the tip money I made today. You can have it, when they're the ones that took the money from me to start with. And here's my question, because I ended up texting the owner, and I'll read you what I wrote to him. Here's my thing. Why am I going to make $400, $500, $600 and then complain that somebody stole money from me unless it actually happened? Like, I need this job. Why do I want to cause problems in this job? And like I said, when I counted the money in my truck, I debated whether or not I was going to let these bitches get over on me or if I was going to go in there and do something about it. I went in there. I was polite. I demanded my money. They gave me the money. If they weren't guilty, why give the money? So anyways, next day I go into work. I let it go. I got my $100 that they owed me. I go into work, I let it go. Well, I'm confronted at the door by the assistant manager, and she says, well, the general manager said you can't work. And I said, why? And she said, well, we looked at the cameras and you counted the money. And I said, that's a bold-faced fucking lie. I called her a bold-faced liar to her face, okay? I said, that's a lie. And I go to walk out the door because I'm so angry. I'm worried that I'm going to pull her through the door, okay? Like, I got to go because I am that enraged. I was hiding it. I was holding it in, but I wanted to strangle her in that moment because she's being a bold-faced fucking liar. So anyways, I told her that. I go to walk out, and she says, oh, well, you can come back to work on Monday. I said, I quit. So anyways, I was wondering if I should say something. You know, I'm sure that the owner of these places is well aware that he's being robbed, but it's either, you know, close the doors and not make any money, or have them open and know that your own employees are stealing from you and allow it to happen so that you can make some money. I understand this business, and I understand why, you know, I understand that good employees are going to be hard to find, especially in this industry. You're meeting the bottom of the barrel. It's the worst of the worst. It gets no worse. I said, hey, so I've been working for your companies for 8 years on and off, and I've never been accused of stealing. Even when I was on drugs, I didn't steal. I've been at Leather and Lace a week. Yesterday, Ivy accidentally gave me $325 when I was owed $425. When I confronted her and Lauren, they acted like they both didn't know how the $100 was missing. Ivy then gave me her tip money, trying to gaslight me into feeling bad after they were the ones that shorted me. Then I get to work this afternoon, and I'm informed that I can't work today, but I can work Monday. Laughing, crying face. I said, so fuck that, I quit. I said, I needed that job so bad. I'm celebrating 4 years of sobriety, and I've got my head on straight. I said, they most definitely was trying to get over on me, and then accuse me of lying. What stripper makes over $425 and then accuses someone of stealing from her unless it actually happened? What would be my motive to accuse someone of doing something if they didn't do it? When I need this job, I need to be there. I don't want to cause problems. I didn't want to have to go in there and confront them bitches about stealing $100 from me. I said, when they handed me the money, I glanced at it to make sure there were some $100 bills in there, and then I shoved it into my dance bag. And when I got out to my truck after leaving, I realized it was short. I said, that club could be amazing. Guys want pretty girls there. Guys were spending great money on me. It sucks I had to quit because I can't trust the employees and the managers to steal from me, then blame me, then gaslight me, then punish me. I needed that job. Like, you know, and I'm sure that he is well aware of the shit that's going on, you know. And I mean, this is why, though, that the industry is taking a nosedive, because these places used to be run by people that were semi-fucking decent. I didn't have to worry about my manager being high on crystal meth, or my manager, you know, doing God knows what. I never had to worry about that. And, you know, matter of fact, I remember there was a point in time where your managers and your floor guys were pretty much the only people you trusted in the club. You knew that them men had your back, that they weren't going to be petty like the fucking bitches that you were working with. You knew that, yeah, they might have some attraction, but they held it together and they were never forceful or extra or, you know, I don't know how to explain it. There was a level of respect there that is not there anymore. Managers of these places are just as bad as the fucking dancers. And it wasn't like that back in the day. But I have a list. I'm going to start on my list. So, yeah, I texted him. I didn't hear a response, so that's probably typical. I've never needed to contact him before now. I mean, there's other times I could have, but I didn't. But I didn't. So something that I was thinking about this morning was that it's very easy to turn people on sexually. It's not hard to be sexual. It's not hard to be provocative, you know. But I think that the difference between today and back when I first started is that men had standards back then. Like the men that would come in wanted women who were doing well for themselves, women that had something to show for all of the money that these men had spent. And it's not like that anymore. There's a level of class and elegance that has been lacking in the industry since before COVID. I mean, yeah, it's easy to turn a man on physically, but I mean, can you turn him on mentally, emotionally, you know, all of that good stuff? That's where the real money used to fucking come in. Building friendships for years. It's not like that anymore. These girls are so dumb. They would rather go give a blowjob for $20 than do a champagne room for $200 and not have to do anything sexual. They're that dumb. And then you have the owners and the managers that are complicit in the fucking behavior because they think that they're going to make a quick buck, when in all actuality, these places are going out of business because of their practices. Everyone knows as soon as you, well, you should, if you don't, I mean, the type of people that come in there, as soon as you fuck a guy, he's done. He's going to stop spending money. But these girls are so stupid, they don't realize that. So there's a level of class that used to be there that's not there anymore. So the things that have changed in stripping, number one, the amount of contact and the sexually explicit stuff that goes on in these VIP rooms, hot tubs, whatever. Back in the day, like I said before, if you even touched a dancer, they would throw your ass out. There are homeless people. I'm not joking, y'all, and I'm not being funny. There are homeless people that come in with book bags and they will come up and try to grab you on the stage. The bouncers don't say anything. The managers don't say anything. So it's just a bunch of homeless people up in there trying to grab ass for free. Which, by the way, can I just mention that we have a fucking STD ringworm going around? Is nobody scared? Yeah, it's bad. Hey! Yeah, it definitely, the STD ringworm, if y'all don't know, yes, there's a ringworm. It's patches of broke out skin that comes from, it's an STD that people are getting from having contact. But the amount of contact that they allow now as opposed to before, it's not acceptable. It's not. And I want any girl that is currently dancing or is thinking about dancing to know that you don't have to allow that. You let them motherfuckers know from the time you get there, you don't touch me. You don't put a finger on me unless you want to be 1 or 5 fingers short of 5 fingers. Like, keep your hands to yourself. Period. So you have to set the standard if you're thinking about dancing or if you're currently in it and you're going through this, you're sick of guys trying to whatever, you know. I've sat down with the guys before at a table and them ask if they can under the table, you know, and there's dumbass girls that do shit like that, and that's what you have to compete with in some places, and that's why it's hard for me to find a good club that doesn't allow shit like that, because that's not the place for that. That's not what dancing is about at all. But yeah, so the amount of contact and then the amount of willingness of, you know, girls, it just seems like, I remember back in the day, if they caught you doing any kind of sex act inside of a club, they would fire you on the spot. Matter of fact, I was working at Scores in Cary one time, and I was in the office with my manager, Samantha. Shout out to Sam. She was like literally one of the best managers I ever had. Female, drug-free, head on straight, good girl. Me and her's back in the office, and I was bartending at the time at that place. I'd stripped there before, but I was bartending at the time. We were renovating the club, and we get all these new girls in. And we had built these VIP sections that had these little curtains. It was like little booths, and it had curtains. So we get a new girl. The first thing she does, as soon as she hit that room, was drop to her knees and start. And Sam and I immediately went running out, pulled the girl up out the room. The girl is wanting her money. She's like, well, where's my $40? Where's my, because the guy bought like a dance, or maybe it was a 2 for $40. So she was only making $40. And she only would have got 30 of that, because the club takes some. So, you know, and you know, maybe it's naive. Maybe it was her boyfriend telling her to come in there and do that. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But there's been several times where I was working somewhere and we had to fire girls for behaving in that manner. And I think a lot of them just genuinely were that dumb. They didn't realize that that was not the expectation at the time. Now it is, most definitely. I've been fired from places because I refused to sell my body in nightclubs and buy drugs from the bouncers. Hello, everybody. Hey, Liz. I have a weak spot for dating strippers. That's what we have here in North Carolina. Yeah. So I remember when I went up to DC to dance, that's kind of weird because there's no place to do like private rooms or anything. It's just these little boxes that they get the girls on. And if I'm not mistaken, it was fully nude, but it was the Good Guys Club and another larger club in Washington, D.C. But they have you up on this box and you just dance in there for tips. And I, you know, for the life of me, couldn't understand how these girls just make a living off of dancing in the box. And it's because they don't. They most definitely go to work to meet customers to go home with, you know. And I think that was very common back in the day. And matter of fact, I remember when I first started working at clubs, they would check the internet. This is when, like, before touch screen phones, y'all. These was like flip phone days, okay? But the managers and the bouncers would go and check the internet, Craigslist, Backpage, because that was a thing back in the early 2000s. They would go and make sure that none of the dancers were advertising on Backpage. That's how against the clubs were for girls prostituting. And then fast forward 20 years, and now they're literally building hot tubs and private rooms with no cameras for that, you know, for prostitution. So we've literally come full circle. It's crazy to see how the internet has changed everything. I feel like that it's sped everything up. I feel like when touch screen phones become big, and then like companies like Ashley Madison and all of that, I feel like when that become big, that's when we really started seeing girls from the street come in behaving that way, trying to be prostitutes in the club, you know. And I've seen some crazy stuff. Even in open spaces, I've seen girls that do certain dance moves to like get guys off. And it's like, why are you doing that? Like, you're fucking everything up. Like, you really are. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I miss the old days. I miss the old days. So the amount of contact. Number two, one of the bigger things that I've noticed is the way that girls carry themselves in clubs. Back in the day when you would go to dance, they would expect you to bring a pair of heels and an evening gown. I'm trying to find my shoes so I can show y'all my shoes. So back in the day, you wear your shoes and then like an evening gown, something where you're maybe it's like sexy, but it's still elegant, and that is lacking big time. The girls just walk around in a fucking thong. And like, here's my thing. Sorry, I'm sweating. I gotta put the towel down. I just got done doing laundry. I forgot to put my towel back out, and I'm like sweating so bad. So you're walking around in a thong, and you're literally advertising for free. Like, you're not even advertising. You're just giving the whole damn cow away for free. walking around in a thong. There leaves nothing to the imagination. There's no mystery behind it. There's no allure behind it. There's nothing attractive behind just a G-string. I don't know, but that's just me. And I love it when I go to certain clubs and they're like, oh yeah, y'all have to wear evening gowns. And I'm like, fuck yeah. That right there, if you go anywhere and audition and they say, oh, you have to keep your body half covered, you're not allowed to just be walking around with your ass hanging out. No, honey, you're going to make some good money. That's where the good money is. Can't tell people nothing, though. It pisses me off. And here's my thing. I go into these clubs and I make money. I stand out, and girls don't understand why. It's not rocket science. And then they hate me for it. And I'm always the most covered up person in the entire club. Other than maybe the manager or the bouncer. You pay to see. You pay to see. I mean, it's as simple as that. They've lost class. They don't have standards for themselves. It's really hard. It really is, especially going into clubs where girls just allow whatever to happen to them. Guys think that you're like that, and then you show up and you're like, no, that's not okay. We don't lick butt cracks around here, sir. You can get diseases like that. And that's another thing. Like, these dudes out here nowadays don't give a fuck. Back in the day, they were married. 20 years ago, they were married. So they just wanted a fantasy. These dudes coming in nowadays, they're single and looking for a wife, and they can't even take care of themselves. So number two, the way that girls carry themselves, number one, for instance, I overheard a conversation at one club where a girl was telling the customer that she was hungry. Okay, listen. Coming from somebody who has struggled with finding out where some of their food is going to come from before, coming from somebody who's been hungry. I understand the need of wanting to ask for help, but that is not the moment that you do that. You don't go up to guys in a strip club and feed them a fucking sob story. That's shitty. That's really shitty. And it makes us all look bad. And then the guys are like telling me, this girl was just saying she's hungry and she ain't ate in 3 days. And I was like, well, what do you think? And he's like, well, I think she's on fucking drugs. And I was like, well, you would be right. Like, it just is a bad look. 20 years ago, you would not have had any kind of girls saying stuff like that. Strippers would never have went to customers and been giving them sob stories. It was not like that. We didn't have to. Because we were making enough money. Like, yeah, the way that girls carry themselves nowadays is completely different. Number three, the girls' motives. Girls are so grimy nowadays. I talked to so many people that have been done wrong by girls that they met in the strip club. For instance, this one guy bought this girl a fucking car. He pulls up to work to visit her a couple of weeks after buying her this car, and the car's gone. He knew she was inside the club, but the car's gone. So where's the car? She gave it to her shitty ass boyfriend and he crashed it. So this is what I'm saying. Like that, you listen, I'm not saying it didn't happen back then. I'm just saying that it would have been rare back then. Things were different. And the dancers, the old school dancers that I'm still friends with, that I've known for 20 years, ain't no man borrowing their damn car. Touche. Yeah, so not only are they grimy, but they use sob stories to try to coerce and trick customers into spending money. That's fucked up. Customers don't want to come back if some girl's done ran his damn pockets and stole his wallet or his watch or his phone, and it happens all the time. And the clubs don't do anything about it. I mean, it's so stereotypical nowadays. So stereotypical. So number four, the type of customer that comes into the clubs have changed. That's has a lot to do with the money. So back in the day, you saw, like I said, a lot of married men that had kids, men that have wives, men that, would come in wearing button-ups, suits. That's what you saw 10, 15 years ago. Now you got guys that just come in dressed like complete fucking bums. Like, they don't care at all. They're not married. They will hang out at the club all damn day from sun up to sundown. Just be chilling at the bar, not spending money. Like, the class, the type of customer has changed tremendously. A lot of guys are not getting married anymore. So, you have these young single men coming in as opposed to, married business guys that actually spend money, the type of customer. Oh, and another thing that I was thinking about is cancel culture. A lot of these businessmen and men that have money, they don't want to be caught dead in these fucking places anymore. Cancel culture could chew them up and spit them out. If somebody found out that they were at the club, or if they were tied to maybe a certain type of girl that was in there, or a dancer or something, you know, it's just bad. And guys don't want to be linked to the type of girls in that place, nor the club itself, in my opinion. And that's why we've seen a change in the customer base, specifically in the past 5 to 10 years. Because you think about the Me Too movement, you think about, I mean, everything. Just it all impacts this. It really does. It really does. That when the internet came along, we saw the clubs fall off so much. We all went from making over $150,000 a year to maybe around 100 to 110, just in the span of like 5 years, from from flip phones to like touch screen phones. I distinctively remember that because that's when Backpage became popular, escort services in the early 2000s. We saw a fluctuation in our income due to the internet becoming a thing, and the clubs are dying because of this now. Like, they really are. Why are you gonna come into a club and spend an hour with a girl for $600 and not get any ass? You get a bottle of champagne and a pretty girl dancing on your lap. But why are you gonna do that when you can order a hooker to your front door for $40? Or get a blowjob for $20 in a club that'll allow you to do that. It sucks. So the type of customers have changed. Number 5, the biggest, one of the number 5 of things that I've seen change, the amount of money that you make. Like I said, we used to make upwards over $100,000 a year, and then COVID happened. When COVID happened, that's when you really saw the switch happen. Previous to COVID, you couldn't touch the girls, you couldn't ask the girls for a phone number, there was rules. But then COVID happened, and strip clubs are going out of business left and right. So then they started implementing illegal prostitution, and it's affected the money. They thought that it was going to bring them money, but what it actually did is it repulsed the fucking community, and nobody goes in there now because they're aware that it's a bunch of hookers up in there. So it backfired, and it's continually backfiring. These clubs, you will not see strip clubs in the next 10 years. They just will not be here. There might be one out in fucking Nevada, but it's a dying industry, and most of these things that I'm talking about today, it's because of these things. So the amount of money that we used to make was ridiculous. Pre-COVID, I would go in on a Monday from 12 lunchtime to 7 p.m. and I would make anywhere from $600 to $1,500. I had days where I would walk out of there for 6 or 7 hours of work with $3,000. So, the money has changed. Also, number 6 would be the house fees. For those that don't know, when you are an independent contractor, it is highly illegal to charge you any money in order to do your job. But that's what these clubs do. And due to the fact that all of us girls need a job, we don't say anything about it, and we just pay the damn money. However, if I had the money, I could sue the shit out of some people. I know that, because I've had hundreds of thousands of dollars taken from me over the years from strip clubs. So you pay to work, you pay for every dance you do, you have to tip out at the end of the night. When I worked the other day, I made $425 on paper. I made an additional maybe $100, $150 in ones, and then I had some additional 20. So we're talking $500, $600 right there, right? The club made every bit of $250, $300 off of me. So if they wouldn't have took the money that was illegally taken from me, because it's illegal, then I would have walked out of there with close to $900. Now, I've done champagne rooms before that were $1,500, and I only walked away with maybe $1,000, and that was before tipping out the bouncers. I did one night, I think it was over $1,000, and I only walked away with like $300, $400, $500 of that after tipping everybody out. And the way that they do it is that, say you make $1,000 and there's 4 people working. You got the bartender, 2 floor security guys, and your DJ. You made $1,000. They're going to want $100 a piece because they take 10%. So that leaves you with 6. But don't forget your house fee because you had to pay to work. So that's another anywhere from $10 to $50. Then all of the dance money. The company is going to take their portion of the $1,000 for the dance, for the actual set time. So $1,000, they would probably take around $350 for that. So what were we down to? We were down to like $550 because of the house fee. So you take another $2-3 away. I mean, y'all, it's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous what they take, what they expect. I've been screwed over so many times, and it's highly illegal. And the girls, the good girls like myself, the ones that don't do drugs, the ones that have their head on straight, the ones that are trying to be a better person in life, we're sick of it. There's so many clubs that I can't work at because I'm not paying their fucking high-ass house fees. I'm not paying $100 just to be able to work. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, it's screwed up how much they take. So let me try to do the math on that again. So $1,000, the club would take around $300 to $350 because they take 1/3. So, and then you got to tip out 2-3 people depending on the club size and all of that. I mean, at the end of the day, you would be making sometimes the same amount as working somewhere at $20 an hour. But those jobs are hard to come by. But I'm still applying for jobs. I've still been doing interviews. Friday, before I went into work, I did 2 interviews that morning in Gastonia. Something that I heard is that I need to start calling places back. Like when I interview somewhere, they were saying that I need to call them and say, hey, what's the status of my application? Now, I've never heard this before. So I'm going to start doing that and see if that makes a difference. I usually just wait on them to call me and let me know what's going on. But I've still been looking for work, even though I'm dealing with all of this stuff from the clubs. So the amount of money, the big thing about stripping is when your income is directly based on everyone else's income, you're just not going to be making money when everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. And we've got over, 67% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. People are worried. Even the people that have money, they're rabbit holing that shit away, squirreling that shit away because they're scared that the economy is going to fucking collapse. There's no denying that it's a pile of shit. No denying it. People are scared. People are holding on to their monies. So when COVID happened, we shut down for a year. And when we opened back up, business was booming. It was good for about 6 months. And then it just fell off. And it's never been the same no matter where I go. I've been all the way to the south of Florida, the Keys. I've been all the way to Washington, D.C., California. Like, it's just bad. And it's a dying industry. So number 7, the relationships themselves are different today than they were back in the day. I have friends that I've been friends with for over 15 years that I met in a strip club. If I'm in their area, like one of which is in Raleigh, if I'm in that area and something happens, I can call him and say, hey, can you come help me? I just got a flat tire. You're not going to find that today. You're not going to find friends like that that'll text you every 2 years and say, hey, how have you been? Are you still alive? Are you doing okay? Like the relationship, yes, we were exchanging money for a service. It's a business, okay? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I feel like the people that I used to meet, the men that I used to meet, the men that I used to deal with, they cared, and they genuinely cared for my well-being. Not all, but, I've got several friends that I could always tell that they genuinely wanted to have my best interest at heart, and they never put me outside of my comfort zone, and you're not going to get that today. You meet somebody to offer you to, if you meet somebody in a club nowadays and they're offering to do something for you, it's absolutely because they're trying to get ass. And I think that ties back in to back in the day, a lot of men were married. A lot of the older boomers are married. The younger generation is not, and they're the ones that are truly lonely, and those are the ones that come in and they don't, not all, but most don't have the financial backing to even be in some of these clubs. No, in my opinion, no. Eric, I think that I have one that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to answer your question in just a second, because I think that dancing, the art behind it, was what made it so big back in the day. Girls used to take their times. They would choreograph routines, spend weeks learning routines, making costumes, and working on all of these pole tricks and these elaborate dance moves, and it's not like that anymore. They've backed away from theatrical performing, and they've implemented prostitution, and it's killing the business. And there is definitely, think about like belly dancers, okay? Like that's a whole art form. There is an art to this, but the art has been lost over the years, in my opinion. And like I said, I know old school dancers who carry themselves in similar manner to me, and the way that they dance, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but it's completely different than what you used to see. And yeah, there's no substitute for old school dancers, in my opinion. I mean, you can order a hooker to your front door that can dance, but there's just something about the allure behind it. Clubs, you know, it sucks that it's, you know, dying, but so the relationships that you used to have with these people were completely different than the type of people or relationships that one might encounter today on a day-to-day basis. You know, I've never had anyone just like walk up to me and like pull out a wad of money and be like, oh, you need to lose your soul. This is what this fucking dude said to me Tuesday. He said, when are you going to lose your soul? It has this wad of money. Because I done told him that I wasn't like going on his boat or whatever. He's like, come to the boat, come on a boat with me, whatever. That's how you go fucking missing. That's how you get kidnapped, raped, and murdered. Okay? So I was like, no, thank you. And he's spending money, getting dances. Because I said no. And it's not that hard. And then he pulls out the wad of money when we get done with the dances, and he says, well, when are you going to lose your soul? I've never in 20 years of dancing had anybody be so blatant and disrespectful. You wouldn't have had no old head say some shit to you like that. No. An old head is going to fucking show up with food for you, send you fucking flowers, bring you, you know, money every fucking day. And then when you're comfortable, maybe you get a date. You know, they were just different back then. They had respect, you know, and then that made girls in return want to be around them. The quality of customers have changed. Did he? Yeah, for real, did he? You gotta tell him no. I wonder why he ain't been arrested. Y'all, why ain't he in jail? So, number 8. One last thing about the relationship thing. No one values relationships anymore, whether it's with their mom or, you know, with me. Like, nobody values relationships. It's all about fast, instant gratification and connections. And to that, I just have to question, is no one scared of STDs? So number 8, the type of people running the club have changed. Back in the day, you know, the girls were wild. We was all drunk. We was doing God knows what. You know, I've done some drugs in my day, okay? And there were times that I needed a little to function, to get up out of there because I was too drunk, you know? I'm just being honest. But always, there was a level of safety there. You knew that the bouncers had their head on straight, and you knew that the managers had their head on straight. If something was to happen, a fight break out, somebody pull a gun, you know, whatever, strippers get to fighting, whatever, you knew that the managers were going to be there to control the situation. It's not like that anymore. I go into these clubs, the managers, the assistant managers, the bartenders, the dancers, everybody is so fucking high, I don't know how they're still alive. You know, it's scary. Like I said the other day, I went to apply at the Gentleman's Club, or it's been a while back. I went to the Gentleman's Club to get my job back because I'd moved to Florida, and I came back. I needed a job. I specifically worked at this club for 5-6 years, and it was my home club. It was my club. And I go over there, and the manager is high on crystal meth. I think I told some of y'all were here when I was talking about that the other day. But just to reiterate, if he couldn't even have a face-to-face conversation with me, and he's in this box bent over high, I mean, obviously on meth, obviously, and picking through this box, if you can't even have a conversation with me while I'm trying to get my job back, what makes you think I want to work for you? Like, this is crazy. I felt so uncomfortable, and just seeing him like that told me that club was now a shithole. Not only was the parking lot dead, okay, when it should have been busy, but, you know, the quality of girls have went down since he's running the place. I mean, it's just crazy. The quality of managers have went down, and the owners don't care at all anymore. At all. Back in the day, they used to semi-cared. You know, they acted like they cared so they didn't get sued. But now they just don't give a fuck, blatantly. Number 9, women don't have shit to show for any of the money that they make. Listen, I know I live out of a car. However, I pay my fucking bills. I got phone, you know, I got a truck, you know, I got insurance, I got, the amount of clubs that I've been in, specifically in South Carolina and Georgia, where I walk into the dance room and the girls start asking to use my phone. You are a stripper. Where is your phone? I remember working in clubs and all of the girls had cars. All the girls had license. All of the girls had goals. It's changed so much. And a lot of these girls, you know, like me working at this past club down in Gastonia, Leather and Lace. Yeah, I made good money for the week I was there, but that probably wouldn't have been a regular thing. I was a new girl. I was making fast new girl money. That probably would have died off. But these girls have been there. One girl, the one that I think robbed me, Ivy, she's been there for 25 years. She's a 60-year-old lady, first of all. Oh, God. But she's been there for 25 years making money. I come in, work 3 damn days, and then everybody gets their panties in a bunch that I'm making all of this money. They don't look at the fact that she's 60 years old. And I honestly, I've said this before, I thought that I would have been done aged out by now, but time and time again, I go in these clubs and I'm the best looking motherfucker in there. And I'm not trying to say that like, ooh, toot my own horn. Y'all know where I stand in the looks department. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't put any weight in my fucking looks. Society does. Society does. I don't give a fuck about any of this. I put all of my weight in my character. And I do think that that's a huge part when meeting some of these women. I think that they do get jealous of the outside and the character part, and that sucks. And, but, you know, I don't know. You know, to be mad at me for doing my fucking job and then try to rob me, them's fighting actions. 20 years ago, she would have got her ass whooped, and nobody would have called the cops. They would have been like, well, you did steal $100 from her. After she tipped you 40 or 50, I tipped that bitch $40, $50 when I left, and she still robbed me for $100. That's how fucked up these people are. Like, that's so grimy. That's the bottom of the barrel grimy. I give you money for doing nothing. Really, just being there. You didn't wait on me. You didn't serve me drinks. You didn't. Anyways, 3 out of 10. No, I'm a 2 out of 10, but with makeup, I'm a 6 out of 10, actually. And that's sad. That's sad that I go in these clubs and I'm literally the best looking fucking thing in there. That tells you the state of how decrepit these fucking places are. Yeah, but like, back in the day, at least girls took care of themselves too. They'd get their nails done. And you could always see outward appearances of money when they would strip. Like, you could tell, like, you know, nice purse, nice designer bag, highlights in the hair, nice tan. Girls took care of themselves. They invested the money that they made back into themselves. They don't do that no more. All of their money goes to drugs. All of it. And I'm willing to bet, from the clubs in my area, I'm willing to bet that upwards of 80% of the people that work in these places are higher than Georgia Pines. Upwards of 80%. Everywhere I go, it's just, hi. Everybody's just, hi. Who was that? Oh, God, who was that? You're high? Kiefer's high? Oh, my God, who was that? Oh, my God. Oh, it was Janelle Evans and Barbara arguing. Teen Mom. God. Hi. You're all high. Oh, you know what? So I've already went over house fees, so I'm not going to reiterate that anymore. It's highly illegal. But number 10, the music. The music back in the day, man, like I said, you had a lot more professional type of men coming in. you know, trap music wasn't even a thing in the early 90s. If it was underground. It wasn't known. Trap music, to me, I don't think that it should be allowed in clubs due to the fact that it entices violence. This is a proven fact. So, you know, it is what it is. I personally don't work anywhere where I feel like I'm going to be shot in the parking lot or in the dressing room. And a lot of clubs are like that. Like I said, I was talking about Onyx the other day. There's nothing wrong with Onyx other than the fact that they have a shooting in the parking lot, you know, once a week or a fight or whatever. Because I do think that they search your cars when you're going in there. So I'm probably wrong on that. But y'all know what I mean. But the guys used to love, you know, country and rock and pop. And, you know, the thing was back in the day, we had DJs. So we could just go up to a DJ and say, hey, can you play my set list? You had songs that you would already picked out and he could play your set list. Well, clubs are not hiring DJs anymore. The majority of clubs don't have DJs anymore. So it's just some loop CD. You know what I mean? Not really, but y'all know what I mean. It's like a MP3 fucking list that they put in, and you don't get to pick your music anymore. And it's all rap. The majority of places. But like I said, I steer clear of places like that because drama. You're asking for it. I was about to Google something, but I forgot. Anyways, I was about to Google something, but I forgot. But yeah, those are 10 things that have definitely changed a lot. And there's so much more that I can't even, like, off the top of my head remember. But just in general, I feel like dancing hit an all-time high in, like, the early 90s and late 90s, and then by the early 2000s, when touchscreen phones and the internet become a huge thing, it started dying off. And you know, it's become so stereotypical that it's a super unsafe environment, and I get scared all the time being there, constantly having to watch my back. You know, like I said, to have these girls steal money from me when they needed me there and wanted me there, you know, what did they think I was going to do? Did they think that I was just not going to say anything about the $100 and deal with it? I have 2 clubs that I'm auditioning at tonight, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I don't like the alto. I like the views. Alto pod. Why do I know what that is, but I don't? It's the same thing as this. Oh, this is an alto pod. See? Listen. This is the pod. Yes. And you know what? So I used to smoke 2 packs of Marlboro Lights a day. I did for a long time. I started smoking about 15, and my parents smoked. I actually was smoking from birth because my parents smoked in the house, and so secondhand smoke is worse than firsthand smoke. So I've been smoking my whole damn life, which is probably why I'm so fucking high-strung all the time when I don't have nicotine. But anyways, I stopped smoking cigarettes last year in an attempt. I used to weigh 200 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight, and I'm getting in shape. And I had this big-ass shirt on. I'm actually tiny under there. I got my pump guard on. So, freaking, I lost a bunch of weight. And one of the reasons that I quit smoking was in an attempt to be healthier. And so I switched to this. Now, I do have nicotine patches, but it's very rare that I use those. Like, if I'm gonna go like on a date or something and I don't want to be like smoking dude out, then I'll fucking put on a nicotine patch. I want to quit this completely. However, I was spending around $80 a week on these, and now I found somewhere that has a deal on them, so I can get 8 pods, and it comes to $2.50 a pod when I buy them in big bulk. So I get 16 pods at $2.50 a pod. So I buy 4 packs, and it ends up being cheaper. But it is expensive, but they're about $2.50 a pod the way that I get them now. I'm grateful for that because I was spending hundreds of dollars a month prior to finding this deal. But long-term goal, quit smoking completely. So when I was at Lake Norman the other day, when I was at Lake Wiley over the weekend, I was looking for a vape shop to find me like THC, CBD, whatever. I use this for my anxiety. I actually read somewhere yesterday that they just legalized marijuana. Don't let me lie. First of all, more about Lake Wylie. It's not a good lake. There's nothing to do out there. It's 20 minutes from the outskirts of Charlotte, North Carolina. It sucks. The restaurants are assholes. Like, the service was horrible. Planet Fitness was horrible. When I tell you that Lake Wylie is one of the worst places that I've ever visited, ever. It was that bad. Yo, I keep about to Google something and I forgot again. Anyways, I couldn't find a vape shop. But I end up rolling up in this place, and this guy hooked me up. They literally have one vape shop on that little lake. I don't know if it's an island or a lake. I mean, it's like an island. You have to cross over a bridge to go to the island, so yeah. But it sucks. There's nothing to do there. I will say that I rolled up on the police and was talking to the police, and my vape was just laying out. Yeah. So, I thought that it went. So, I rolled up. Because I was trying to get to this boat ramp, right? I roll up, and the cop has the road blocked. So I pull up beside him, and before I pulled up, I saw him because he had his blue lights on. So I had my vape, and I said, well, I'm just going to stuff it right here in between my seat. So I go to stuff it. It didn't stuff. It didn't stuff. It was laying on my seat like this. I thought it was stuffed in between the seats. It didn't stuff, okay? So when I roll up to the cops, we're talking, and it's just laying right there beside my lap. I guess he thought it was tobacco, hopefully. Because I was smoking this. I was smoking this right in his face. I mean, I don't think you can get in huge trouble for them. They're legal. They'd probably confiscate it, but hell, that's $40 that I don't need confiscated. But yeah, there's so much that's changed with dancing. I'm grateful that I still got it in me. I was really worried about going back and worried about how I was going to be perceived, like if guys would even like me. But I have had the most positive fucking response I think I've ever had in my entire career of dancing. And these guys that are coming into clubs, they're desperate for pretty girls. They want connection. They want to talk to pretty girls. And I understand that. And they have every right to be able to come in there and talk to pretty girls. That's what the place is for. You know, I've met so many guys over the years that I've helped, and they've helped me. And, you know, men in particular struggle with self-love a lot. And I think that the men that I've met, I was able to point out all of their good qualities and reinforce like what they believed about themselves, or maybe point out things that they didn't even notice about themselves. I've helped men with their marriages multiple times. You know, like I said the last time I did a live, it's a level of therapy, in my opinion, for a lot of men. And you know, I feel like the lines, the boundaries have been crossed, and we've crossed over. Once you cross over to prostitution, usually there's no coming back from that. Usually the next thing is going to be to file for bankruptcy, because, you know, it might do well for the first year, but watch that fade off. But, you know, I've only been doing this for like 17 years, so what do I know? I might be wrong. They might make a fucking comeback. They might legalize prostitution in the United States and make a comeback. What do I know? Oh, I hope not. God, then I'll have no hope of making any money. Oh, Eric, I saw, that's what it was. Thank you. My fucking ADHD. That's what it was. They legalized, they built some kind of distributor here. Opens weed shop. North Carolina opens weed shop. Yes, so the first dispensary in North Carolina opened last month at Cherokee Land. So I guess since that's the native reserve, I have Cherokee in me. My grandmother was part Cherokee, and then my father's side also had Cherokee in him. So my grandfather and my grandmother on my father's side had Cherokee. I want to do one of those 23andMe tests or whatever and see what I am. I just feel like it would make me just like, maybe help me find some culture, or maybe none. Maybe I don't have any. I don't know. You know what I mean. It says the opening of the dispensary marks the first time that an indigenous tribe has sold marijuana to residents in the state where the substance is still illegal. So it's illegal here in the state of North Carolina, up to a 0.8, which is what mine is. So you can smoke up to a 0.8 potency THC CBD, if I'm not mistaken. But okay, so right now you can't buy weed in Cherokee. It says right now you must be an adult and have a medical card to purchase marijuana on tribal land. Any North Carolina resident aged 21 or over with any of the 18 health conditions can apply for a medical card. I bet anxiety and freaking depression and PTSD, I bet that all of those qualify, honey. You know, and here's the thing, I'm not even ahead about it. However, if I work a 10 damn hour work shift and I get off of work and it's just one bad thing after another, I might just have a little emotional meltdown. I'm not going to lie. Like, I need to hit the pen. I've been at work with no weed all day. I need to hit the pen. Especially if I'm waiting tables or something. Oh my God. Dealing with that side of the public, I would rather deal with drunk men than a bunch of Karens waiting tables. That's sad. Yeah. I can handle drunk Kevin. I can't handle drunk Karen. Drunk Karen gonna make me go to jail. Let's see. North Carolina's first marijuana dispensary opened last month. Oh, I just read that. NPR. Y'all want to hear something funny? I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, oh, I used to love NPR, but I don't anymore. And this person said to me, oh yeah, I love NPR. They're not biased or whatever. Okay. That's what I'm saying. People don't even realize the news that they're watching, the shit that they're allowing in their head by watching it and listening to it. NPR, BBC World News, horrible news outlets. Horrible. But 10 years ago, when I was repping for BLM, they were great. You know? Oh. This is interesting. So it happened June 6th. They approved, they voted to allow medical marijuana sales, allowing recreational cannabis sales. They had to pass a law to approve it for the reservation. So they have, Cherokee is beautiful. My mother used to love Cherokee. Every time I go to Cherokee, it just, all these wonderful memories of my childhood, my mother, and taking trips there with my family. They have a Indian reservation there where they have multiple casinos in the state of North Carolina. It's beautiful. It's the mountains, streams, I mean, just luscious woods. Beautiful place. Casinos there, very popular. And now they can sell marijuana, apparently. It's called the Great Smoky Cannabis Company. I love it. The Great Smoky Mountains is close by, so. It says open for medical marijuana sales on April 20th with customers traveling across the state with medical marijuana cards to make a purchase. The dispensary could not open for recreational sales due to the tribal council not yet passing the ordinance. Oh, so they might legalize it. Legalize it. It says, not yet passing the ordinance despite numerous work sessions on the topic. So it sounds like they are trying to pass it for recreational, but they're having probably to do the same shit that Colorado did because the federal government doesn't even recognize that as a legal business, from my understanding. Like, it's recognized on the state level, but not the federal. I'm probably saying some of this wrong. If I am, please let me know in the comments, but y'all know what I mean. The way that Colorado was able to legalize marijuana was kind of around their ass to get to their elbow. They did it kind of backdoor. They found a way around the law, a loophole. Wow, these people are going to be staffing almost 400 people. This is a big business. That's great. That's really great. So I posted a short yesterday of a whole bunch of other businesses that are going to be going out of sale. Jesus, Brooke, get it together. going out of business. So that job shortage I've been talking about that I've experienced, it's real. And matter of fact, I'm not the only one struggling with this. It seems that this is a big problem right now. I applied for 117 jobs and got 0 callbacks. These are comments from other people about the job market that they're currently facing. Now, this comment was 3 months ago, and the guy said he filled out over 117 applications and got 0 callbacks. And so I've applied for maybe 40 within the last month and gotten one response, a rejection email. Another person said they've done 217. Another person said they've done 284. These are other people looking for jobs and cannot find a job. Now, these comments were a month to 3 months ago. And this is people out here stating that they're having a problem finding a job. So there's already a shortage in certain fields, most definitely. But also with all of these companies that are going to be going out of business, they have to find work somewhere. So what jobs are available right now are going to be taken up by the thousands of people that are going to be laid off in the state of North Carolina in the upcoming months. My husband got laid off in October of last year. He's applied for close to 100 at this point. He's gotten more than 15 interviews, but no job. I mean, that's scary. I applied for over 2,000 jobs in my area, everything from janitorial to car repair. I had one interview in October. It was just courtesy for saying no. It's not just you. Top comment. So there's other people like me out here that are filling out hundreds and thousands of job applications and not getting any callbacks. And I've been running in circles. From October of last year to current, I've spent well over $20,000, if not close to 30, looking for a job. That's gas. That was my lunch. That was I've had to go from like Raleigh to Charlotte for specific interviews. When I have to do that, I'm just blowing through all my fucking money. But what am I supposed to do? I have to go to that interview. I have to try. I have to give it a shot. I've applied for nearly 400 interviews in 6 months. I have an excellent technology resume as well. That's crazy. These people are people with degrees saying that they can't find a job. Not all of them, but some. And so, like, I did a short on it. If you haven't seen it, it's like one of my last shorts on here. But it's specifically showing all of these hundreds of businesses, hundreds of employees being laid off. And I think that come 25, we're going to have a big issue. We're going to have a big, big issue. I mean, when you think about it, we have people that are crossing that border every single day. Those people are going to have to work. That's almost, I don't know, anywhere from 11 to 22 million people. There's no telling how many people. Upwards of 11 million people have crossed that border. Maybe more. I see some theorists say 22 million. I don't know if I believe that, but definitely a lot. And they got to work somewhere. And then if all of these businesses are going out of business, those people that work for that business then have to find a different job. Unemployment is sitting at 3%. So most of everybody is working right now. But if they start shutting down companies and businesses like they're going to, and they've already announced they're going to do, where are those people going to fucking go to work? I keep having to run back to fucking stripping because I can't find a damn job. And then, there's people out here with degrees. They can't find a job. Reading those comments, that one guy said he did 1,000 interviews and still ain't got a damn job. I wonder how much money he spent on running to interviews. Now, some of my interviews were Zoom, but not all. And I actually like doing interviews in person. There's a greeting, there's a level of respect, meeting someone in that way that you're not going to get from a Zoom call, in my opinion. You said they rescheduled it too. To a 3. I mean, I just think marijuana should be decriminalized, but that's just my opinion. So it says Biden moves to reclass marijuana. Reclassify marijuana. Would weed be legal in the state of North Carolina? Joe Biden has directed a review of how marijuana is classified in 22. Last year, the Department of Health and Human Services recommended that it be rescheduled to a 3. On Thursday, May 16th, Biden posted a video to X, formerly known as Twitter, reinforcing his support of the potential reclassification and saying the Department of Justice would be reclassifying marijuana. Jesus Christ. I told you I can barely speak English. When was this written? Oh, May 17th of 24. Quote, today, I'm surprised he said this. Today, my administration took a major step to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. It's important to move towards reversing long-standing inequities. Today, announcement, blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, now we can say he did something that was decent. Just now we can say he tried to do something that was decent. Oh, no, fuck it. We'll just stick to he was a complete failure. We'll tell the truth. Anyways, I'm gonna run. Thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, it sucks that the industry is taking a nosedive. I'm glad that I'm one of the old school girls that got to experience what it was like before. But yeah, I got 2 clubs I'm gonna audition at tonight and give it a shot. I just hope that I can go somewhere where there's not a lot of drama and everybody's not high. But my fortune cookie gave me something to look forward to. I'm definitely going to eat some more food before I take off. Later today, your dreams will take flight. Okay. Bet. Say less. But I love you guys, and pray for me, because God knows I need it, and I'm praying for y'all, and y'all stay safe out there. Stay cool. It's hot. Drink water. Touch grass. Love y'all. Bye.